Yes, ma'am, we are live.
All right. Hi, guys. Okay, so we are here again. And thank you for joining in at 4. Okay, so what we are going to take up today, we are taking up a speaking section. We're taking some interesting thing about the speaking section, and that is the common mistakes that we make. Usually, when we speak, we tend to make certain peculiar mistakes, specifically when it comes to the IELTS module. I'm going to take up all those set of mistakes and I'm also going to share solutions. So I will tell you how to avoid making those mistakes. Okay? So let's begin. This is a bit about me. Go through if you want. Let's talk the real thing. Okay, without wasting any time, we are aware of speaking module a bit, but let me just do that recap. So this speaking section that we have in IELTS lasts roughly around 11 to 14 minutes. It has 3 parts. The part 1 is a rapport building round in which the examiner is usually trying to make you comfortable with the surrounding, comfortable with her, so that after some time you are able to answer all her questions. Got my point? So just treat it nicely, treat the examiner nicely. She's only there as a facilitator, she's not there as any kind of burden. Build the rapport with her, and that's your first round. Second round would be your cue card section. Now, this is a popular section because in this, you are usually given one question card in which there will be one main question. After that, there will be 3 to 4 sub questions related to the main question, of course. You have to answer all the questions in the cue card, guys. Okay? Usually, you have 1 minute to prepare for all these questions, answers for all these questions. And 2 minutes, you have to speak whatever you have written or made notes on. Okay, so 1 minute for note preparation and 2 minutes to speak. Now, you would also be provided with one notepad or an A4 sheet paper and some stationery to write with. Usually, in this pandemic situation, guys, be alert. They might ask you to bring your own stationery. So, if they do so, just be attentive regarding all those things. Okay? Take your own stationery. Another important thing when it comes to speaking module, guys, is that during the pandemic situation, you all would be speaking with your mask on. So when you're at your home practicing, make sure that you're practicing while having your mask on. Trust me, it does make a huge difference. Okay? So those are your 2 rounds. Another, that is the last round, is a follow up discussion round. Now, why do I call this one as follow up? Because whatever card you might get in your part 2, something related to it in much broader way, in much general way, in a more abstract way, you will be getting questions in your follow up round. For example, if you are getting, say, a cue card on a particular trip that you went to, now this particular trip is a specific area that you have to talk about. But when you come down to your follow up section, that is round 3, you have you might have to talk about related ideas which are much broader in nature, like if it was trip, you could have, you might have questions about travel, journey, vacation, holidays. Got my point? So it's much broader in nature. After these 3 parts, all the things that you have to keep in mind is that it is a formal test. It's not that formal that you have to sit like this, like a robot. Don't do that. Okay? Be relaxed, be calm. But just remember, don't use any abusive language. Don't use any slang terms. Make use of language in a very good way. Show that strong hold over grammar, over the entire language. Okay? Of course, you will have the trained examiner sitting right across you. Along with that examiner, you're going to have this one small recording machine. because all your responses will get recorded on this digital machine. Now, when on machine you're getting recorded, you need to be aware of certain things. Please be audible and clear. Your volume should have that clarity. Don't speak like, don't do like that. Okay? Nothing will get recorded. Now, also, you need to be fluent, you need to be proficient enough. So, talk without noticeable errors, like don't use too much of uhs and ums, don't stutter, don't stammer much. Okay? Now, when you're talking without all these noticeable errors, especially when you're not repeating yourself, don't repeat any word, don't repeat your ideas and all that. Talk with fluency. So, fluency is one thing that you need to keep in mind. Being audible and clear is another thing. Keep a balanced pace. Don't go too fast or too slow. Then focus on your tone, your pitch, your expressions. We're not robots, guys. We are humans. We talk with emotions. So talk like that. Okay? All right. Then range of vocabulary. I don't want you to just use this was good, that was bad, I felt sad, I felt happy. Don't do all that. These are very low range vocabulary. Don't use that. Instead, just make use of some good words. Okay, instead of happy, you can say elated. Instead of say hot, you can say blistering hot. Instead of saying very hot, blistering hot. Okay, so keep yourself acquainted with all those words. Keep using different grammar books. Keep using IELTS vocabulary. LeapScholar has always been helpful for that. So make use of that app. Make use of those websites. Okay, and of course the sessions, the YouTube lives, everything. So increase that range of vocabulary. Another thing that is very important when it comes to speaking is your pronunciation. If you're not pronouncing the words correctly in their standard forms, then guys, it will be a problem. Okay? Now, I will come up to that pronunciation thing later on, but let me just start with telling you the most important thing. See, guys, it would be unfair on anybody's part if they do not know what they would be assessed upon. Okay, so that is the reason I'm telling you here to keep these four things in mind, because these are four parameters you would be assessed upon for speaking. Okay, number one, as I said, fluency. Don't speak with all that stuttering and stammering and uhs and repetition. Be proficient. Speak, flow like a river. Be fluent, because that is what matters. And when I say fluency, guys, usually people come and ask me, ma'am, I have this Indian accent, ma'am, I have this accent. You can have any accent. Okay, Indian, British, American, Australian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, any accent. Okay, that is not what is required here. You would be marked upon for your fluency. So be proficient. Then coherence. Let your speech be connected. Use those linking devices, those connectors like however, moreover, yet, still, furthermore. Try to compare. So, in comparison with, in contrast to, getting my point? Show more comparison, while, whereas. Give the list like firstly, secondly, lastly, finally, all those things. So, coherence is required because I want you all to have a connected speech. Okay, it shouldn't be like one point of time you're talking about your mom, the other point of time you're talking about your dog. Don't do that. Only if you can relate these two, good. So fluency and coherence. Second thing, lexical resource. Now this is nothing, guys, but vocabulary. I don't want you all to use just some good words, but also some high range words. Got it? Now, grammatical range and accuracy is the third parameter. We all know that grammar is important. Grammatical accuracy, that means whether you are right with your tenses, whether you're correct with your prepositions and other things. We need to be accurate. True. What do I really mean by range? See, guys, we can easily say simple sentences, but that is not how you're going to show your command over language. Command can only be evident if you use words like and, but, also, and other linking devices, and try to come up with complex sentence structure. Okay? Ram is a good boy, Sita is a good girl. Those are two simple sentences. But what if you join those two? When it comes to quality, Ram is an intelligent boy, whereas Sita, a talented girl. See what I did here? I use whereas, and I put a little bit of explanation when it comes to qualities. So what I did here is to come up with a complex sentence structure. Got it? I want you all to perform like that. Then, fourth parameter, as I said, is pronunciation. Now, in pronunciation, it's not only pronouncing the correct words, words in their correct standard forms, but also the correct version of the words. For example, not much people would be aware of a very simple thing that is cooked in our home, roti. But a lot of people would be aware of the word chapati. Got my point? Similarly, you might belong to, say, Kolkata, but that is a local term. That's a vernacular that only we know. The more standard version would be Calcutta. Similarly, it shouldn't be called as Mumbai, but when you're speaking there in IELTS, say it as Bombay. Okay? Those are also some parts in pronunciation. So make sure you're saying the right thing. Okay? Now, when I'm talking about these parameters, I hope things are clear till here. Is it clear, guys? Is there any problem? Hi, Ritika. Hi, Khushi. Very good, Raman. He's industrious, but also easygoing. Very good. Yes. Nice. So things are clear. Good. No problem. Thank you, Yoga. Okay. When there is no problem, that means I'm going fine. And with this, I want to say something. Now, I'm coming up with a crash course. I'm coming up with a 4-week course. Now, this will start from July 13th, and I will be there from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. taking the classes. I'm going to take all the modules, all the 4 modules: speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Okay? You will be having one-on-one speaking feedback. There will be writing evaluations. All the recordings of live classes would be available. Okay? So please make sure that you join these courses. And I think my friend Soumya, if she's there, she can tell that a
Yes.
bit.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. So as ma'am already told you that you are going to get 20 hours of live lectures. And in case you miss any of the live lectures, you are going to get recordings of the live classes that you can watch anytime you want. We'll be covering all the 4 modules and you will be getting one-on-one interaction with ma'am. So she'll be evaluating your speaking, your writing, everything will be from our side. With that, we are giving you complementary material. Cambridge material will also be there. It will be provided by our side, and you will be having lifetime access to that material. You just have to download it, keep it with you, and it is very valuable, trust me. So it's a 4-week course starting from 13th of July, 1 hour daily. And the price is just rupees 249. Also, ma'am is here with a very special code of 20% off. So if you will use this code MSLive20, you will be getting 20% off and the prices will be changed to 199. So around 200 rupees only and you are getting everything. So I'm sharing the link in the chat box. Please enroll yourself as soon as possible. Yeah.
Thank you, Soumya. Yeah, so that was Soumya telling something valuable. So make sure, I'm definitely hoping a lot of us working together in near future. So let 13th July come. All right, let's go back to business, guys. Now, the things that I really want to speak today are mistakes. So, what kinds of mistakes we usually make when it comes to IELTS speaking, and what could be the solutions? So, let's take them one by one, guys. Number one, the moment any, say, any card or something like a discussion comes in front of us, what is the tendency that we have? We have this tendency to repeat the question. If somebody is asking, how are you? Oh, how am I? Well, I am good. You don't have to do that. You don't have to repeat the question. Similarly, in the cue card also, you have this question card right in front of you. And suppose the question card says, talk about an interesting person you know of. When we start speaking, we start like this: one interesting person I should talk on. Okay, so yes, I'm going to talk about this person. We don't have to start like this. We don't have to repeat the question written in the cue card, nor do we have to repeat the question asked by the examiner. What we can do instead, we can paraphrase the question. We can answer the question while paraphrasing, while taking the question in our own words. So instead of saying that I'm going to talk about, oh, the person that I should talk about, just say, well, I think I'm going to talk about Niyati, and because this person is really interesting, and I would love to talk about all the qualities she possesses. See what I did here? I just tried paraphrasing, making my own version of the question. This is what should be done. Another thing, we take unnecessary long pauses. This is a problem, guys. People come to me and say, ma'am, zone out ho gaya, kuch nahi samajh aa raha, nothing is going in head, I'm getting zoned out. Okay, in such cases, please understand, to avoid this zoning out situation, you need to have content. And this basically is the problem with the second section, that is the cue card section of speaking module. So guys, you are given 1 minute to prepare. Please utilize this 1 minute. Prepare your answers. And in 1 minute, no human can prepare the answers if you write full sentences. You don't have to answer in full sentences. You actually have to answer through bullet points, through abbreviations, in as short as possible. Okay? Where did you go? Manali. Who did you go on a trip with? Friends. When did you go? Last night. Something like that. So these are bullet points that you answer. When you are writing these bullet points on your notepad that is given to you will look at those points while speaking, and you immediately will know what to speak. You will never fall short of content. Okay, so keep building up that story. Don't take that long pauses. Utilize that content you have. And see, keep building the story. Try to bring in your opinions, your reasons, details, compare your timelines. This happened, that happened. Bring your past, compare it with your present, then go on further, compare, just comparing it with your future. Connect it. Build a story, as I always say. You will never be having the scarce content. So, no long passes. Third, we tend to say a lot of, all those sorts of things, whatever, like, basically, all these things. These are just to fill the gap that you're finding because of the shortage of content. Now, yes, fillers can be used, but these are not fillers. Instead, what we can say, when we're not getting ideas, we can simply ask sometime. Well, that's an interesting question. Even if you halt in between, just say, actually, that's really an interesting question. I've never thought about this. So let me wrap my head around it, and probably then I will be able to speak. Okay. Yes. And then you go on. See what you have done here. You are actually buying some time, but in an interesting way. So that the conversation would not become monotonous. It'll keep on going. So that is your third mistake. Fourth, and ahs. Too much of and then zoning out. So don't do those and ahs. You are a human. You can take a pause for a second. Breathe in. Consciously avoid taking these uhs and into your speech. And how can you really do it? Guys, practice at least, say, 2 cue cards a day. Now, when you're practicing those cue cards, record yourself. Okay, when you record yourself, you'll get to know a lot about your strength, your flaws. You will come to know what are those particular areas when you're trying to say these and uhs. What are the areas where actually you are taking that long pause? Everything would be solved. And once you have it inside your head, you know how to work over it. Okay? Fifth, repetition of words and ideas. Don't do that. That's not being fluent. So don't repeat your word. Suppose once you have used, say, interesting, now use some other word. Suppose once you have used that the movie was interesting, and then again you go on using interesting. Oh, yeah, so yes, so really, so yes, so really the movie was interesting. Don't do all that. Switch the word. Okay? You can simply say, after saying that movie was interesting, you can simply say the movie was captivating. Keep coming up with those different range of vocabulary, okay, instead of repeating. Also, repetition of ideas. What do I mean by that? Once when you have said that something has been interesting to you, that's it. You have expressed your view. Don't go in the end and repeat the same thing. You know, before we end the answer, we have this tendency to go back and repeat it just to say that, oh, that is the reason I've spoken all that. No need. So don't repeat. Not using connectors and linking devices. Yes, this is one big point because I want you all to connect your speech well. This is how you show that you have the hold over language and you're comfortable using it. When you bring in this whereas, furthermore, however, moreover, please use these connectors. Okay? You will definitely score a high band. Trust me with this. Then, this is a formal test. I said it initially, but this is not too formal. You cannot just sit there and talk like, yeah, where are you from? Bombay. That sounds rude. That sounds like you're not nervous, you're rude to the examiner. Don't speak like a robot. Have expressions. We are all humans. Show your emotions. We talk with a lot of varied pitches and tones. We go high and low. When we are showing sadness, let your voice show the sadness. When you're seriously happy, let your voice show that you're overjoyed. Okay? Bring in those expressions, bring out those emotions. Getting my point? So, please talk like a human. Last one, constantly speaking without taking a break. Now, this usually is a problem with the cue card section again. Once we are done with that 1 minute preparation, usually we know that we have 2 minutes to speak. The tendency that we have is to speak for 2 minutes constantly without a break, without showing that there are full stops, commas, that we want to take a pause. Don't do that, guys. You know, writing, how in writing we use those commas for short pauses, full stop for long pauses, right? Similarly, in the speech also, please try to use those pauses and gaps. So to tell that, so to give that impression that yes, I'm trying to connect it. Now I have spoken something, and now I'm starting with section B, or I'm starting with something else. So I need that human break. I'm not asking you to just take a long break, but take a break. Okay, breathe in. Breathing is very important. Getting my point? Yeah, that happens. I know that happens mostly. Don't worry. The movie was worth to watch. Good range. Very good. Nice, Anima. I hope things are clear to you. I'm here if you want to have some question. What are the usual problems you guys face? Raman is coming up with some nice things, huh? Okay. So is everything clear till here? Now, after this video, at least you all should make a promise to yourself that you're not going to do these mistakes because now you have solutions. Please remember to record yourself because that is the best practice. Okay? All right. Okay, perfect. So those are the things I wish to talk about. Of course, we are here with the course, so please join in the course. If you like, as usual, please like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends because, as I always say, let the river of knowledge flow. Also, there's one thing we always talk about, and that is the app. LeapScholar app is going to be of a lot of benefit to you guys, so don't miss out on downloading this one. Okay, you can have a lot of things like masterclass details, all your upcoming class details, different sections are there. Please download it. A lot of help regarding vocabulary, everything. Thank you so much. That's a good promise. Okay, so with this, thank you for joining me, and I hope I have helped you in some or the other way. Chalo then, take care and keep practicing. Ta-da!